there. QB, huh? Good stuff. Oh, man. Nice speaker. You guys can hear me, huh? Well, that concludes spring ball, and the Noles won, which was pretty good. But really excited about where our football team is right now as a unit, and there's a lot of work to be done. But to where we're at right now, I'm really excited where we're at, where we're going. It's good to see some young guys go out and make some plays. It's good to see us throw the ball around a little bit and see some guys make plays. And we got to work on our hands on the defensive side of the ball. Had a lot of tip balls and got to learn to finish. But overall, I thought it was a good spring. I thought we got better, especially with the guys that we had this spring, and knowing that we have some guys coming in the fall too to help us. Have us feeling really good about ourselves.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Great.
The two teams combined to run 96 plays in the first half. Just how pleased were you with the way they played with the tempo?
Good. I've been pleased with our guys all spring. They have a good understanding of what we're trying to do with that, and I was really happy with our guys being able to do it without having as much depth because of the team, the way we split the teams up, and for them to be able to go with that tempo and still execute some plays was really good. And I think for me personally, it was just exciting to be able to go fast and not have any pre-snap penalty when it comes to alignment. You know, I thought our guys did a great job receiver-wise of communicating with each other and communicating with the referees to make sure that we're not aligned the wrong way, and it paid off for us.
I know throughout the spring when we've asked you about James Blackmon, you guys kind of said James is James. You know, he hasn't changed too much. But from this point last year to now, how has he grown just as far as his confidence is?
Well, he's very confident. I think there's more of him just understanding everyone, every coach and his teammates, and understanding the plays and how we want to get them executed. But James has put in the work too. You know, I've seen James this offseason watch more film than he's ever watched being here. Seen him been up in our offices more than he's ever been up there, and it's made a difference on the football field. He's very confident in what he's doing, and there's time where coach would try to remind him or something. He'll tell coach to be quiet, let me handle this. I got it, and that's great to see. He's got the confidence, and he won it, and the guys respect him, and it was good to see him make some of the plays he made today.
Hey, Coach. Saw a couple of freshmen on defense make some big plays, big hits, Hakeem Dent, Julian McCray. Just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on how they look this spring, and do you think them and the rest of the freshmen are some guys that can make some big contributions this year?
I do. I think each one of those guys, every freshman that we brought in this spring, have stepped up and showed us all that they can play at this level, and that we're going to lean on them this fall, you know. And I've been impressed with each and every last one of them. I mean, each one of them has had time with the ones throughout spring, and they held their own, you know, and they constantly make plays. I was a little disappointed with Jalil because all spring long, those tip balls he had today, he was catching those in the spring. And we got in front of people and he dropped the ball. But the kid is always around the ball. He's always doing things like that. And you know, at times when you tip balls, sometimes when you're playing hard, you have a teammate there to catch the tip off of it. But it's good to see him in the position to make the play. We got to get him to make the play, but he's shown that he can make those plays throughout spring ball.
I'm going to go up to your right, Ira. Is it hard to evaluate the running game a little bit because you split up the offensive line and you had a few guys out?
Sort of, kind of. I mean, I think it all depends on what plays were being called, you know. I think, again, you're going to evaluate like anything else. All those guys know the plays and the assignment and the technique we want them to do it with, and we expect for them to execute it that way. But I think a lot of it is just what plays were called, you know. And if I don't think we called as many run plays in the game, but we're going to evaluate those run plays and the execution of them, and seeing if there's something that we can do better or something we need to add. But overall, I thought we threw the ball quite a bit and didn't necessarily run it as much.
Coach, this week you talked about the next step being the effort you see in practice translating over onto game day. Do you feel like you kind of saw that today?
I did. I saw some guys make the plays that they were making in spring, throughout spring. Saw some plays that a couple drop balls that you'd like to have back, but for the most part, I saw guys making plays that we know they're capable of making, and it was good to see. It was good. I know you asked about the guys being divided, but I do think when you can execute, when you don't have all your ones or your twos together and be able to execute, I think that says a lot about your football team and where you can go. And again, we're trying to build depth, and seeing those guys be able to execute without the guy that they had been playing with all spring was good to see.
With not a lot of guys at quarterback, Jordan Travis is kind of stepping into a pretty big role. How quickly have you seen him take to the offense and just progress this spring?
Well, I thought early on he was so nervous in spring ball and not sure about a lot of things, and the confidence wasn't there. And then somewhere around week 2, you started to see him get confident in what he was doing, and he started making a lot more plays. And as we started going through spring ball, we all, as coaches, felt good about Jordan and his capability and what he's going to be able to bring to the table for us. And it was good to see him go out there today and make some of those plays, which I anticipated him making. I told him before the game, I got a feeling you're going to go out and have a good game today. And I thought he threw the ball well. He missed a couple of throws there, but for the most part, he threw the ball well.
Here you go, right above Kirk and Matt.
Hey, Willie. You've been through 2 springs now, so what do you think are the biggest kind of areas that your program as a whole has improved in those springs?
I think we've improved on understanding what we're doing, understanding each other, understanding what we're doing, and in the consistency when it comes to play and making the plays. I thought today, I thought we played a lot more consistent than we did this time last year in spring ball, and a lot of that have to do with our guys just knowing what to do now. I do think understanding the tempo a lot better helps, and guys being able to play, and then just the simplicity of teaching our guys in the way Coach Browse and our offensive coaches have taught our guys on the offense side of the ball has changed and helped our guys even more, and where they're able to go out there and play with confidence that we need them to. But I think the chemistry, the team chemistry that we have now is night and day to where we were this time last year, and it should be. We know each other, we understand each other, we don't went through the fire and know our strengths and weaknesses, and now each and every day we can build on our strength and try to limit our weaknesses.
A lot of big plays on offense, particularly in the passing game. As best you could tell, were those the result of proper execution on the offensive side, or were there some defensive lapses too? And I guess kind of how do you balance that when you're evaluating?
Well, I can't just talk in details because I haven't seen the film. I got to say there was execution on the offensive side of the ball. They went out and threw the deep ball, he caught the ball, and he ran after the catch, and that's pretty good execution. Again, just looking at it, you don't like to see your defensive back get beat, but I can't tell you exactly why he got beat, but it was good to see. It's just execution, and we saw that this spring. We saw it throughout the spring, and you also saw on the other side. You saw guys make plays on the defense side of the ball, and I think there was just a lot of drops today. Guys broke on some ball that we probably should have, well, not probably should, we should have had, and we just didn't execute from that standpoint. But I thought both sides just made some plays.
Willie, a lot of the 2018 receiver class, those guys with Keyshawn, Young, Harrison, all those guys really kind of balled out today. Have you seen a lot of progress from that group? Have they been doing this all spring, or they're just jumping out like this?
They've been doing it all spring. A lot of those guys that you guys haven't seen play, they were doing on scout team last year for us. And now they have an opportunity now to compete for playing time. They're showing us what we can do, what they're capable of doing now, and then you see guys like Keyshawn and Trayshawn and those guys. They're getting better. They're playing with more confidence. I think Coach Dugan's done a great job of getting those guys to play with a standard. That group is really close. They're so much closer than what they were last year, and they all hold each other to a standard. And I think that's why they all are making plays now when they go in there. They're all playing at a standard, and Coach Dugan have those guys doing that. But they're playing with confidence too, and they were young, and they're getting older and more knowledge of the game is only going to help them.
And I wanted to question about the other side of the ball. Amari Gaynor, I think, was one of the leading tacklers you had, and the guy that battled injury last year. How's he come along this spring?
Great. Amari's going to be a big-time player for us. He's a Florida State kind of guy, and I'm excited about Amari and his future. And again, I think he's going to be a household name for us as we come into the fall. He's had a really good spring.
Willie, it looked like it was good-natured, but what was the conversation between you and James after you had them pick up the pass interference flag there at the end?
He was asking me what team I was on. I told him just play ball. Again, it's a little adversity. He's trying to create a little adversity, see how we're going to respond. I want to see how the gold team respond, and want to see how the Garnet team was going to respond when they got the ball back. And I thought they handled it well. In the past, our guys were getting really ticked off and don't want to play anymore. But they kept playing, and that was good to see. But they was mad at the commissioner.
And overall, obviously the teams are split up, but the 800 yards passing, all the big plays, is that kind of what you want this offense to be and closer to what you want it to resemble come September?
Well, I think when you see the explosive plays, we want those explosive plays. I think that's really important. When you see the tempo, I think if you watched us last year and you watched us this year, you see the tempo is much better than what it's been in the past. And in this scrimmage today, I thought once the tempo went down, we didn't execute as well as we were executing. But I think with this offense, it's times you're going to see us have a lot of passing yards. It's times you see us have a lot of rushing yards. It all dictates on what we're getting from the defense, and I guess that's the beauty of it. It's not just we're just going to throw it the whole time, or we're just going to run it. We're going to do and take what they give us. And I thought our quarterback did a great job of taking what they were giving us, and it was good to see our receivers make the yaks after the catch. I think that if there's anything, that's what we want to see is our receivers make yaks, yards after the catch. And we got a lot of those in this scrimmage, and that's important, and we're going to need it going forward.
It seemed like all of the January enrollees were ready to play at this level. But Akeem Dent, could you just talk about his spring, the spring he had? I know he was highly acclaimed coming out of high school, but it seems like he's ready to play college football.
Yeah, he's everything we all thought he would be, and kids coming in with a lot of confidence, and from day one, I mean, you all saw the first couple of spring practices where he went out and got I think like 2 interceptions back to back, and to me that was just being a smart football player, and the kids just always around the ball. He enjoyed playing and enjoyed competing, and when we recruited him, he said that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to come here and play, and he's come here and put in the work that it takes to be able to play. He's come in and spent the time with the coaches to understand what he's doing so he can go out there and be able to compete with the guys. And it's great to see him not only say all those things, but go out on the football field and do it, And not just Akeem. I think Ray Woody III has done some really good things for us, and I'm really excited about him. I mean, he's the sleeper no one really talk about, but there's another kid that's always around the ball and making plays. And our young guys are pretty good. They're pretty good players, but they're still young, and they got to continue to grow. And it's great that we had them there this spring, and they got some practice in before we get to training camp.
Over to your left, Courtney.
Coach, the one offensive penalty in the first half was on a freshman. Do you think the organization appears to be better because it's year 2, or do you credit maybe Kendall or maybe both?
I think both. I think year 2, and then, like I said earlier, just Coach Browse and his simplicity, some simple way of teaching, I should say, has helped big time, and not just Coach Browse, but everybody been on the same page and understanding the offense. And when you can get everybody, coaches and players, all on the same page, those things happen, you know, and you limit those mistakes. And again, it was great to see our guys go out and not have as many penalties. You know, they've been working hard on it, and it was good not to have as many, especially those pre-snap penalties. And that was good. It was good to see from that standpoint. You talked about the penalty our young guy had. I was really excited how our guys didn't let that penalty kill that drive. You know, how they bounced back and made plays, and they finished that drive with a touchdown. And again, in the past, that had killed us. You know, we have a penalty that stops drive, and our guys bounced back, and that was good to see.
Go to Brendan up top. Hey, Willie, you talked about the big plays on offense and in the passing game, specifically with James and what he brings to the table as far as pushing the ball downfield. I guess how exciting is that to have that aspect of the offense?
It's great. You know, when you have guys like Terry and DJ Matthews and some of the young guys, I mean, it was great seeing Warren Thompson catch that ball and go to the house. But when you got guys like that and you can throw the ball down the field and get it to them, that's great. You know, those are things that we look for in this offense. We want to throw the ball down the field and get those chunk plays. And I was, again, like the rest of us, we were all excited to see James go out and execute those plays. I think we all know he throws a really good deep ball, and it was good. I wish Terry would have caught the other pass there, but it was good to see. But it's great to be able to push the ball down the field.
And then last year, the attendance at the spring game was, I think, close to 60,000. Wasn't quite that today. Is that something that you kind of maybe expected after last season, or is that something that you guys know you need to grow on and earn that back after last year?
No, we know we just got to keep getting better and make sure we go out and perform the way we need to. We appreciate everyone that came out there today, you know, and wanted to go out and show them the improvement that we've made. And again, we're excited about the ones that were out there, and we're sure the ones that wasn't there, they was watching somehow. I think it was on X8. I guarantee they were watching, so they were all there somehow, some way. They were there. Probably not right there in front of us, but they were watching, and we appreciate them too.
I've got time for two more. We'll go Adlon right here.
It seemed like all day, no matter who was playing quarterback, the pocket was clean. How much of that is Randy's ability to communicate things more clearly to the guys, or him and Kendall knowing how to set things up, or maybe just physical development of the offensive lineman overall?
I think it's all of that. You know, I think the offensive line getting bigger and stronger. I do think Kendall and Randy understanding each other and knowing the offense really helps. It helps from a teaching standpoint, again, so everybody's on the same page, and that's been critical for us this whole entire spring, and that's good. And it's good that our quarterbacks get the ball out too. I think that's important. But what you're seeing is just again, you see the coaches, offensive coaches, and our players are all on the same page, and when it's that way, then you can have some success. You can go out and execute, and again, it's nowhere where we're gonna be and where we need to be, and it's good to see. I mean, we haven't put in a lot of stuff, but our guys are taking the little things that we have given them and made us better.
All right, last one over here, second row to your right.
Coach, you speak a lot about playmakers. One guy that made a lot of plays today, DJ Matthews, it seemed you had him lined up at multiple spots on the field. Is that by design, and what have you seen from him this spring?
If you ask me who's the most improved player this spring, I got to give it to DJ, and that's in every aspect. He has come to spring practice totally focused on getting better every single day. I mean, every single day he's come out there with the right attitude, and every single day he's come out there and practice at a high level. And I didn't get that from DJ last year, but he made that commitment to himself that he was going to do it, and by doing it, he's seeing what DJ can be for this football team, and I think it's reminding him what he said he was going to do when he decided to come here, and it's paying off for us, and his teammates seeing it, and he's got so much confidence right now, and I love the fact how he's leading our football team too. If you ask me who was one of those guys that stepped up as a leader, I'd say DJ is one of those guys as well. And he's done a great job of holding guys accountable in the receiving room, you know, and I think that's part of, we talked about the receivers in the standard, him buying into Coach Dugan's vision and what he wanted to do, and selling it throughout the young guys. So, he's going to be big for us. Yeah, he's going to be big for us, and him and James are roommates, so you can only imagine what those guys are going to be like together. But he's had a heck of a spring. Really proud of him.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, see you all. When I'm going to see them again? Yeah, see y'all then.